Hello, everyone. Happy Black History Month. My name is Assia Ball. I am from Philadelphia. My background is in gender development and globalization, and I am a 2026 WCAPS Pipeline Fellow.
Hi, I am Doreen Tier. Happy Black History Month. I am a political science PhD student at the University of Idaho, and I am also a 2026 Pipeline Fellow.
Finish the sentence. Because of my heritage, I lead with.
Empathy and honesty, because those two values help me understand the people I'm leading much better and also relate to them in a stronger way.
Finish the sentence. Because of my heritage, I lead with.
Confidence.
One misconception about your community you wish people understood.
I would say that as a Black Muslim woman, we are not a monolith. There's so much complexity and diversity in our communities, and I would just love people to understand and respect that.
One misconception about your community you wish people understood better.
As an African, there's this misconception that people hold of Africa being a country. I would love to state that Africa is a continent and reflects a multiplicity of cultures, of identities, of values that contribute to making the continent better and stronger over time.
How has your heritage shaped your career choice?
I'd say that again, my identity as a Black Muslim woman, and just understanding and learning about the ways in which Black women, Muslim women have been pushed to the periphery and marginalized by systems and structures. I think kind of that shapes my research interests and the work that I do and would like to do in the future.
How has your heritage shaped your career choice?
At present, I am peace and conflict scholar, and I'm specializing in finding solutions that promote long-lasting peace and conflict resolution across the African continent. And that's because I've I was born and raised in a conflictuous country where people had various incompatibilities. And because of that, I figured there should be there should be an intellectual answer to promoting peace on the African continent and in my country. So this heritage has pushed me to want to know more about why conflict arises, how it arises, and what patterns of solutions can be provided to curb that over time.
What issue impacting your community deserves more global attention?
For me, a lot of my interests and passions lie in reproductive justice. And this is for various reasons, but I kind of focus on the history of reproductive violence against Black and Brown women specifically. And so, because of that history and the legacies of reproductive exploitation and violence, I would say that anything related to reproductive rights, reproductive health, reproductive justice, I would like to push towards the global agenda.
What issue impacting your community deserves more global attention, in your opinion?
I would mention gender equality needs more attention, more global attention, because Africa and particularly its countries continue to grapple with um, gender disparities, with gender-related treatment that really stifles the progress of our society. You would not believe that many women continue to be disenfranchised at present in Africa, and
I believe it.
I and I know this gender equality discourse has been modeled as um, it's become too mainstream, but it's not raising the right attention. You know, we're
Hmm.
just talking about gender equality because we want it's part of the SDGs, but we do not know the realities of the people living on the ground. So I feel that there's a need for more attention to that, and not only women representation, but for their representation to carry influence in the decisions that are made. So enough for tokenism.
Does your cultural background make you more optimistic or more realistic about peace building?
I'd say my cultural background makes me a lot more optimistic despite, the current political and social climate. And I'd say I draw a lot of my optimism from the Black radical tradition and this idea of kind of reaching towards the horizon. Um, you know, in the current day, I may not see the fruits of my labor, as people say, but I think just kind of thinking of the horizon in the back of my mind, and in the work that I do kind of keeps me optimistic and hopeful.
I would go with optimistic because at the end of the day, I am so confident in the agency of the African people, in the choices that we can make that that have the potential to alter the trajectory of our history and our politics altogether. So I am so optimistic that this building would be a success on the African continent and in my region too. And that's because of my heritage, because the heritage promotes community, the
Hmm.
heritage promotes respect for one another. And if those values exist, then peace building is a success already.
That's beautiful. America needs some of that sprinkled on them.